Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you by the Thompson family of dealerships in Nashua, New Hampshire, and by Tri-State Megabucks and the New Hampshire State Lottery, helping New Hampshire schools one ticket at a time. WNDS Sports presents Candlepin Stars and Strikes, featuring the best candlepin bowlers from all over New England, and now in our 19th season. Here's your host for Candlepin Stars and Strikes, Dick Lutz and Mike Moore.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome into another edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Great to have you with us from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Dick Lutz with Mike Moore, and we have reached the top of the ladder. Bob Whitcomb has moved from the number 5 seed all the way up to take on top-seeded Chris Sargent this afternoon. And for Bob Whitcomb, his run has been productive and lucrative.
Well, for 3 weeks, he's earned extra money, $1,075. He won't win any less than $1,000 today because we've raised the prize money Leda Lanes has to $1,500 for the winner and $1,000 for the runner-up. So this could potentially be a very big payday, actually, for both bowlers.
He hit the triple strike jackpot last week for $550. Been a great run so far. Let's see what happens this afternoon as he takes on top-seeded Chris Sargent. Let's meet our bowlers first. All the way up from the number 5 seed from Weymouth, Massachusetts. Let's say hello to Bob Whitcomb.
And only twice in the last 5 years has a bowler gone from number 5 to win it all. Bobby Whitcomb could be number 3. Average 125. High single 199. His high triple is 489. And Bob Whitcomb bowls at Hanover Bowlodrome and Hanson Bowlodrome.
He defeated Mike Poulin 398 to 393. Jeff Surratt 458 to 384, and last week a 408 to 343 win over John Zappi. Setting up the championship match against top-seeded Chris Sargent from Haverhill, Massachusetts.
And he comes in having only to bowl one man versus Bob Whitcomb, who's had to plow through 3 so far. Average 132, high single 213, high triple, get a load of this, 530. Great stats for a great bowler from St. Joe's in Haverhill and now Park Place in Wyndham as well.
And Chris rolled a 705 to earn the number 1 seed in this ladder series. Let's get to it. A champion will be crowned this afternoon. Will it be Bob Whitcomb or Chris Sargent? We're coming back to find out right after this on WNDS TV's Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Well, we began with 5 bowlers, and now we're down to 2. Bob Whitcomb has climbed all the way from the number 5 seed to meet number 1 Chris Sargent this afternoon. In the meantime, a couple of pretty good bowlers have bitten the dust.
Boy, they have. Mike Poulin was his first victim 2 weeks ago. It was Jeff Surratt. John Zappi was victim number 3. Chris Sargent, will he be victim number 4? Will Chris win today? We'll find out in the next 60 minutes.
And it'll be Bob Whitcomb first to bowl here at Leda Lanes, a house that he has come to love.
He owns the
second
place.
home to him.
I think Ray Simino should hand the deed over to him. I mean, literally, he has just owned this place since April when he won the Easter tournament for $5,000.
First ball by Bob Whitcomb off the head pin. He has been scoring well and collecting on bonus money. Unprecedented. Will he get the spare? He will not in the first frame. $200 in bonus money in his first match with Mike Poulin, another $275 in the match with Jeff Surratt, and last week he broke the bank hitting the triple strike jackpot for $550 and winning another $100 in bonus money, a total of $650 in bonus money last week. So in 3 weeks of competition, he's earned $1,075 in bonus money alone.
He didn't do that very often the last couple of weeks.
No, he sure didn't.
That is the double pinochle with wood, as is often found, laying perpendicular in front of the 4 and the 6.
Bob Whitcomb, 37 years old, from Weymouth. Gave it a shot, but couldn't convert it. Bowls out of the Hanover Bowlodrome and the Hanson Bowls. Been bowling for 29 years. And he'll take a 9 box. So Whitcomb opens with 19 through 2, and we get our first look this year of Chris Sargent, no stranger to the TV lights. Been on WNDS Candlepin Stars and Strikes some 20 times over the years. The old Channel 5 show 3 times. Has an unorthodox left-to-right delivery from his right-handed bowling. And he'll not pick it up. He gave it a pretty good run. He had the 1, the 2, the 7, and the 10. And a 10 box. 30 years old, a police officer in the town of Groveland, Massachusetts. is up off 495. Or is it up 95? Off 95, I should say.
Yep, not too far from 495.
495.
The Haverhill area.
And a mark. So Chris Sargent with the first mark of this match. Of course, the winner advances to the Tournament of Champions. There are a couple of objectives here for these bowlers. Objective number 1 is to win the match. Objective number 2 is to score as high as you possibly can, because the seedings in the Tournament of Champions are based on the winning triple of the ladder series winners. So Bob will be open through the first 3 boxes.
Bob Whitcomb, his first 2 weeks, averaging 142, but slipping a bit last week to a 136 average. You can call it that.
I'd like to slip to a 136 average.
I would too. His triples have been 398, 458, and 408, beating Poulin, Surratt, and Zappi along the way.
Right in the head pin, crossed over to the Brooklyn side, leaving the 10 pin with some wood. How's the wood angled? I think it's
Wood's
okay.
Very good. Doesn't have any choice. He has to use it.
There it is, the first mark for Bob Whitcomb, coming in the 4th frame of the first string.
Chris Sargent would like us to congratulate Christy Moore with him today. She is the 2001-2002 World Team Champion. So a nice accomplishment for Christy Moore, who's here today cheering Chris Sargent on, hoping that he takes home the $1,500 first prize.
7 in the spare, wood between the 3 and the 5, with the 10 pin off in the right corner. There it is, 2 marks in a row for Chris Sargent.
He's got a rather healthy average, 132.
I find that obscene.
Well, it's crazy. Most of us can't relate to that. And look at 213 high single, and he's had 3 other games at least, 207, 210, and 211, and I'm sure a few other ones a little lower than that, whereas most bowlers in a lifetime are happy to break 170.
Just a 3-pin fill in the spare. Picks 1 more. He will be open in the 4th frame. $525 in the triple strike jackpot. After having been hit for $550 last week, it recycled to $500 during the match. And now it advances to $525. Again, if either of our bowlers can put 3 strikes together, as Bob Whitcomb did last week.
We actually went the entire year last year, Dick, without having it been hit. And people were asking, well, doesn't it, you know, pick up from where it left off? The answer to that is no. It resets to $500 at the beginning of a brand new season.
And that's something that's historical. It's been that way from day 1. Whitcomb missed the spare. The 2, the 7, the 8, and the 10. And an 8 box. .53.5 for Bob Whitcomb. Certainly well below the pace he had been setting in the 3 previous weeks. That's onto the head pin. Can he break up the split? No, but the wood is good if it stays there. And it looks like it will. So he's got a shot at it. It's not a lock, to be sure.
No, it's not.
But at least he has a shot at it with the wood.
You'd rather have that wood on the other side of the pin.
Can he sweep it over? He's got to hit it to make it go. Didn't hit it hard enough. So it becomes a moot issue. He will be open in the 6th frame with a 9 box.
Piece of wood rolling over, but he's going to reset it, and it would not go down anyway. Chris Sargent now facing 2 open frames from Bob Whitcomb, and a 2-pin lead through completed frames, 47-45.
Last time on WNDS as the number 3 seed, he defeated Sam D'Agostino, Bruno DeFeo, and then lost to Dave Richards in the ladder finals, 404 to 373 back in March of 2001. He's a Tournament of Champions winner back in 1995, beating Gary Carrington also in 1996. That's one that will not come back. That'll be an 8-box for Chris. So both bowlers struggling a bit early on in this championship match. And he also won the Easter tournament here at Leda Lanes 2 years in a row, 2000 and 2001, and the 2002 winner is his opponent here this afternoon, Bob Whitcomb.
A lot of experience on the lanes and a lot of money won between these two gentlemen.
That's a tough miss right there. That looked like a gimme to him.
Well, you've got about a 15-inch target down there, and just perhaps spaced. Got a little careless.
10-box, 65, 3-pin lead for Sargent over Whitcomb. First string championship match, ladder series #1 of the 2002-2003 season. Dick Lutz with Mike Moran, happy to have you with us. Michael and I enjoying our 6th season together, bringing you all of the excitement of Candlepin Stars and Strikes, giving you a chance to watch the best Candlepin bowlers in the world. Hope you enjoy it from week after week. We enjoy hearing from you. Our mailing address is Candlepin Stars and Strikes, 50 Television Place, WNBS TV, 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire, 03038. You can email us as well, bowling@WNDS.com. Bob will be open in the 7th frame.
So he is now bowling at under a 100 pace at 69 through 7. He's only had one really bad game in the last 3 weeks, and that was a 94 in week #1 after he shot 153 and 151. Those two scores still didn't hit 400, nor did Mike Poulin, who was just a few pins behind him. But he's been good enough to beat 2 other opponents after his first week.
Will it go? It will not.
That was a great cut shot, the 10-pin. Only one to go was the spread eagle minus the 3-pin. Got a clean path to the 10. And again, Chris Sargent has an opportunity to make some hay here with 2 open frames he'll be bowling opposite of. It's the diamond, the dinner bucket, whatever you want to call it, the 2, 4, 5, 8 with no wood.
Not going to pick it up. Another open frame. So both bowlers having trouble finding the range here in the first string. A 9-box for Chris Sargent.
Added money now this season. Leda Lanes using the money that's put in by the bowlers as they qualify month after month. It's now been returned into the prize money this year. $1,500 to the winner today, $1,000 to the runner-up. Former first place and second place money was $1,500, so each position has been up by $500.
Chris Sargent picking out the 1 and the 9. We've seen it happen a couple of times over the last couple of weeks. Either the 1 and the 9 or the 1 and the 8, which is virtually impossible. But we've seen it done a couple of times. Another open frame for Chris Sargent, an 8-box.
And all they can do is laugh. 2 high-powered bowlers struggling to hit 100 during their first game. But you know, as soon as one of these guys lights it up, the other one will follow suit, probably.
They will both bowl left-handed in the second string. Whitcomb on the head pin, but a little light. Wipes out the back row except for the 7 and the 8 with no wood. Well, a piece of wood on the deck to the right, which he may use and try to cause something to happen off the wall. No other way to go at it, really. That's what he's doing. He tried to bounce it off the wall. Will it go? Almost. It almost came back to take it. The ball came back and took the pin out, I think. And that will be a 10-box. He's at 89. He needs a mark for 100. We saw him bowl a 94 in the 3rd string against Mike Poulin in the opening round after he had a 304 for the first 2 strings. In the 3rd string, he bowled a 94. to finish with a 398 triple. It was virtually impossible for him not to get a 400 after 2 strings, but he didn't get a 400.
Nor did Mike Poulin.
Nor did Mike Poulin, who shot a 98 in the 3rd string. So Bob looks for a mark here. He's not going to get it, and he will be under 100 in this 1st string. Went for the 2 in the corner, picked up 1. It's an 8 box. It's a 97 1st string for Bob Whitcomb, who, as Mike indicated, had been averaging over 130 1st string for the first 3 weeks on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Now Chris Sargent looking for a mark. If he doesn't mark, he won't make 100. He'll be close to it. The 1, the 2, and the 10. The wood is in front of the 1 pin. He will not pick up the spare. He'll be open in the 9th frame.
Total of 3 marks between these 2 bowlers in the 1st game.
2 of the greatest. 10 box. 2 of the best in the business right here, and they can't buy a mark. 92 for Chris Sargent. Needs 8 for 100. Missed the head pin.
And this is not a gimme shot.
Certainly not. The 1, the 9, and the 10. The wood is behind the 1 pin. Will it take both of them? That's the key. It does. And Chris gives himself a round of applause.
Would you call that a mock round of applause?
Yeah, I would think it would be. So a spare for Chris Sargent. He's at 102 plus a ball. He'll have a lead of roughly 10 pins, depending on what he gets. He's at 5 now, plus whatever he gets on this ball. And he gets 6 more. So an 11-pin lead for Chris Sargent over Bob Whitcomb after 1 string. We head to the middle string of our 3-string championship match with Chris Sargent in the lead. Come on back for more as we return to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire for Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Once again, we're happy to welcome back as sponsors to Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV, the Thompson family of dealerships, Nashua Hyundai, Nashua Mitsubishi, McMulkin Chevrolet, and now Nashua Cadillac, as Chris Sargent bowls first here in the 2nd string. And also back as a sponsor for the 2002-2003 season is Tri-State Megabucks, and we welcome them back to another season of Candlepin bowling on WNDS TV. Chris Sargent cannot pick up the spare.
Thought he had it.
Turned in disgust.
He had frozen wood there on both sets of pins, but it didn't work out for him.
And a 10 box for Chris to start out. Chris very animated, as is Bob Whitcomb. You have 2 very animated bowlers. Once they throw the ball, they're doing everything they can from behind the foul line to encourage those pins to fall over.
Can't hurt.
Sargent in the pocket. The 4 and the 7 with no wood.
Chris enjoys hunting, golfing, racquetball, and most other outdoor activities. What little time he has between bowling, his 3 children, and working as a police officer.
And a spare for Chris Sargent in the 2nd frame.
So kids include Patrick, who's 12, Allison is 8, and Christopher Jr., now 3 years old.
There's a strike for Bob Whitcomb. Watch it again. Buried it in the pocket.
Would he do it again, folks?
Looking for another one. Threw it to the head pin. Broke up the split. The 4, the 7, and the 8. Just picks off the 7. Not able to make the spare. And a 10 box for Bob Whitcomb. Chris Sargent working on a spare. In the 1-3 pocket, leaving the 2 and the 5. 2 spares in a row for Chris Sargent. He'll be looking for some bonus money. We haven't given away any bonus money yet this string. We gave away a lot of it the first 3 matches of this ladder series.
Well, is already left.
He's got a tough shot here. Threw it right into the head pin and really didn't get much for it.
A lot of wood. 4 pins standing and a couple of them on the deck.
Not going to make the spare, no bonus money. And that'll be an 8 box for Chris Sargent. He's at 50 through 4. Bob Whitcomb now looks to narrow the gap.
Well, you made a good point earlier. You want to not only win, but you want to win as big as you can for preferential seeding in the Tournament of Champions. Neither bowler is getting to that objective so far.
Well, Bob buried one in the pocket right there. He wants that piece of wood to get out of the way, and I believe it will. It will. So he's looking at the 4 pin standing there all by its lonesome. No wood to get in the way or to help him. And he's got it. He covered it nicely. Now looking to get closer to Chris Sargent. Chris just put 4 in his spare in the corresponding box. Whitcomb missed the head pin. He's going to put 6 in the spare.
So he now takes a 2-pin lead through completed frames in this game, but still trails Chris Sargent in the match overall.
Tough shot to make for a spare here. Almost made it. He cut the head pin too fine. It came in front of the 10 pin and bounced off the wall. And that'll be a 9 box. So he's picked up 3 pins, and he trails in the match by 3 with Whitcomb, checkered by 8 with Whitcomb and Sargent battling for the Tournament of Champions berth, which goes to the winner of this match on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from WNDS TV and Leda Lanes in Nashua. We'll be right back. Chris Sargent moves to lane 34 at Leda Lanes.
Single pin remains for Chris Sargent, who's got 2 marks out of his 4 frames. So far, it's the 3 pin with a little wood right to the side of it. And that's what he took out. It was not frozen, so the pin still stands. And it will not be a mark. .60 for Chris Sargent.
Time right in the pocket, and a spare opportunity for Chris. The 3 and the 5, piece of wood just to the right of the 3 pin. And he plays the wood and makes the spare, his 3rd mark of the 2nd string. So he's bouncing back a little bit, and Bob Whitcomb has 2 marks already, and he steps to lane 34. Threw it past the head pin. Got a pretty good break, though. Broke up the split with the 7 pin getting wiped out. And now he's got a very makeable shot with the 6 pin on the right side. Piece of wood came out beyond the marker, I believe. And Paul Willette's going down to move it away. And he comes away with the pin. So now we've got the 6 pin with a piece of wood in front of it. And Bob Whitcomb going after it and is right on top of it. So both bowlers now with 3 marks in the 2nd string. Whitcomb just had 1 in the 1st string on his way to a 97. Sargent had 3 in the 1st string on his way to a 108. Whitcomb to the head pin, but not much to show for it.
Put a 7 in the spare that he had in the 5th frame. Mr. Whitcomb has a nice bowling portfolio going for himself. He was number 2 in the New Hampshire State Doubles Tournament this year with Mike Kucha. They won it, by the way, the year before and went to number 2 last year. He was also number 2 in the New Hampshire Singles this year. So couldn't quite get to number 1, but he's done his share of winning the last 3 weeks here on Stars and Strikes.
Bob gave it a shot trying to play the wood and deflect the ball into the 7 pin, but couldn't convert it. So he'll be open in the 6th frame. And it's a $9. 79 for Whitcomb through 6. A 2-pin lead in the match for Chris Sargent over Bob Whitcomb as we've just passed the halfway mark, with Sargent working on a spare. So it's 2 pins plus whatever he puts in his spare on this first ball. And that's 6. So it's an 8-pin lead in the match for Chris Sargent. A lot of bowling still to go this afternoon. Will he make the spare? Yes, he will. Chris Sargent with a big spare. Didn't look like he was going to get it, but those pins just kept on moving around. Sargent to the pocket again. Puts 7 in the spare.
Chance for bonus money. If he picks this one up, it'll be $50.
We haven't given away any bonus money in this match yet. We still haven't given away any bonus money in this match. It'll be a $9 for Chris Sargent.
He's a very quick bowler. He's up, addresses the pins.
Doesn't waste any time,
Yeah.
hardly addresses the pins. He grabs the ball and fires.
Hardly have time to show you the score in between his turns.
Bob Whitcomb a little bit more deliberate. Right to the head pin. There they go. They still continue to fall. Watch out. Don't give up on that 10 pin. The 10 pin is surrounded by 5 pieces of wood still on the deck. One of them just rolled off. Now 4 pieces of wood on the deck. There's the spare for Bob Whitcomb. 4th mark of the string for Whitcomb.
Bob Whitcomb is in the biotech field. He's 37 years old, single, and enjoys bike riding, fishing, and has enjoyed working out the last couple of years. Shed a few pounds, and that's helped his game become more efficient.
Same thing in reverse this time. The 7-pin stands after it was surrounded, and there are still 4 pieces of wood on the deck.
This one should not be too difficult. I think that piece of wood is frozen against a 7.
He'll be shooting for bonus money when he comes to the line next. And he might even be shooting for the lead. I believe he will be. Chris Sargent answers with a strike.
Well, the boys are coming to life now with several marks in the second half of this game.
They don't resemble the same 2 bowlers we saw in the first string. Sargent right there again, looking for 2. $525 in the triple strike jackpot. We gave away $550 last week to Bob Whitcomb. And now Chris Sargent is trying for $550. Will it go? Will it fall? Will it go backwards? It will stand there.
Actually, $525 had he made it.
This is a $50 shot. He'll take $50 in bonus money and finish very strongly with a $150.
Look at, he had 60 in the 5th frame, Dick. He had a 90 half. It's a heck of a second half of the game for $150.
$50 in bonus money to close it out. Now Bob Whitcomb working on 2 marks in a row, looking for bonus money. Throw it right into the head pin, leaving the 3, 6, 10 on the right side. Nice shot by Bob Whitcomb for 3 marks in a row and $50 in bonus money. Clutch shot, responding to the challenge,
Indeed.
answering the call and feeling the pressure, but coming through.
This match is still going to stay very close despite the 150 that was just posted by Sargent.
Right on the head pin and right through. Tough break.
That's a killer. Very difficult spare to make. He'll be lucky now to break 135, 136.
Look at this. He almost pulled it off. He made a great shot. He is at 135 right now. $136 for Bob Whitcomb in the 2nd string. Chris Sargent with a 2-string total of 258. Bob Whitcomb a 2-string total of 233. A 25-pin lead in the match for Sargent. heading to string number 3 when we return to Leda Lanes in Nashua for Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Bob Whitcomb trails by 25 pins as we welcome you back to Leda Lanes in Nashua for the start of the 3rd string. Whitcomb starting on lane 34. A couple of marks separate these two bowlers. The 1, the 2, the 7, and the 10 with good wood out there for Bob Whitcomb. It's a makeable shot. Got to hit that head pin. That's key. There it is.
Beautiful
he played
shot.
it perfectly. Absolutely perfectly.
Having that piece of wood frozen against the 10 didn't hurt, although I think he would have done it without the wood. It was so perfectly executed.
So Whitcomb starts off with a mark. Tries to make it 2 in a row. The 6 pin is still standing with a piece of wood in front of it.
He's got work to do to catch Chris Sargent, but boy, what a great start. 2 marks in a row if he can pick this one up.
He's got it. Well, let's see how Chris Sargent responds. As Bob Whitcomb tries to put a little pressure on Sargent. Sargent with the lead coming into the 3rd string. Sargent bounced that one down and chopped through. Just 4 pins went down. Got the 4 and 7 on the left. 3, 5, 6, and 10 on the right. He takes half of them, leaving the 5 in the middle with the 4 and the 7 on the left. And he starts with a 9 box.
And surrenders 10 pins of his 25-pin lead back to Bob Whitcomb.
Right off the bat, he's up against another mark. And he's got a split right here, so if he doesn't mark here, we're within a mark after 2 frames of the 3rd string. He will be open.
Hard to believe the 6-pin wrapped right around the 10-pin. It didn't go down. Still wiggling.
9 box, a pair of 9s for Chris Sargent to start out, and Bob Whitcomb trying to take the momentum here at the start of the 3rd string.
Earning $1,075 in bonus money the last 3 weeks. He'll earn no less than $1,000 today. He has some bonus money as well, I believe.
$50.
$50, so a nice couple of pay weeks for Bob Whitcomb.
In the pocket, puts 8 in the spare. The wood is falling off the alley.
That's what he
So
wanted.
it's out of his way.
Wanted a clean shot.
He will make it. Just barely, but he made it. He just did nick that 6-pin.
Well, you know, he didn't want to pick it or chop it, so he went a little bit more to the right, and just with the, maybe it was the velocity of the ball that took the pin down.
$50 more in bonus money. More importantly, moving closer in the match. Puts 7 in the spare. This is a $25 shot for another mark. And he could really put the pressure squarely on the back of Chris Sargent with a mark here. He picked the head pin off of it. So he will be open in the 4th. It'll be a 9 box. Chris Sargent, if he doesn't mark here, will be virtually even. Spread eagle for Chris Sargent, right on the head pin and right straight through.
Of course, Chris Sargent, the son of one of the greats in the game, Mike Sargent, who is in the house today watching his son compete.
He takes 3 on the right, leaving the 2, the 4, and the 7 on the left. An 8 box for Chris Sargent. He needs a mark to retain the lead. Threw it to the second pocket that time, missing the head pin altogether. 5 pins still standing. The 1, the 3, the 5, the 8, and the 9. Look at this. Will it go? He gave it a great shot, but he'll not convert, and he's going to find himself trailing. Remarkably, he had a 25-pin lead coming into the third string, and after just 4 boxes, Bob Whitcomb has taken the lead. It'll be a 10 box, and the lead is 2 pins for Bob Whitcomb with 6 boxes remaining in this championship match. We'll come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua for the finale of this championship match on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV right after this. Well, Bob Whitcomb has climbed all the way back to take the lead after trailing by 25 pins after 2 strings. He now leads Chris Sargent by 2 pins with 6 boxes remaining. And a strike for Bob Whitcomb. Watch it again, right in the 1-3 pocket. The 5 and the 7 fall simultaneously.
Forward, which is kind of unusual.
He missed the head pin on that shot, leaving the 4 horsemen on the right side, but it's in a strike, so he's got an opportunity here to do some damage. The wood looks to be frozen to the backside, which may not be good. Oh, Michael's microphone seems to have died on us. Will he convert the spare? He will not. Try it now, Mike. Not there? No. Whitcomb will be open in the 6th frame. Chris Sargent needs to mark. And he missed the spare opportunity by leaving the 6-pin. And a 10 box. Sargent looking for a mark. Another opportunity here with the 4 and the 7. No wood to help out. Mike Moran's mic has left the house. Spare for Chris Sargent, and he needed it badly. In the 6th frame, we are virtually dead even. With 4 boxes remaining. Whitcomb on lane 34. Can he break up the split? Yes, he can. Big shot. Now Whitcomb trying to move that wood out of the way as it rolls off to the right side gutter. Falls out of the way. The 6 and the 10 still standing. He just made this shot a couple of boxes ago, and this time he makes it again. A little bit more convincingly this time. He played it to the outside instead of to the inside. 5th mark of the string for Bob Whitcomb, who's earned $100 in bonus money in this match. Chris Sargent has $50 in the bank. Whitcomb on the head pin. The 6-pin's still there. The crowd really getting into it. Whitcomb looking for the mark, the 6-pin. Will he get it? He missed it. Big miss for Bob Whitcomb. Remember that one. And that'll be a 10 box for Bob. He'd much rather have the spare. Chris Sargent on lane 34. Nine pins fall, the 5-pin stands. Missed the spare. That's a big one for Chris Sargent. Both bowlers missing 1-pin spares in key situations, and that'll be a 9 box for Chris Sargent. Chris needs a mark. Missed the head pin. Got a break. Got a couple of breaks, although the wood is not favorable as I look out there right now. It could be in the way. Unless that pin straightens out, he's got to hit the head pin and then keep his fingers crossed. Here it goes. He will not get it. We're heading down to the final 2 boxes. And a 10 box. Oh, look at that shot by Bob Whitcomb. He shot it past the head pin, a half Worcester. 2 boxes remaining, 11 pins separating the boulders. Whitcomb, what a shot for the spare. Perfectly played to the outside of the head pin. And Bob Whitcomb with a big mark in the 9th frame. What a great shot by Bob Whitcomb, who's had a great run from his number 5 seed. Mark here could just about do it. In the 10th frame, he will put 7 in the spare. He's at 137. The 1, the 8, and the 9. Missed the head pin. So he'll be open in the 10th frame. The door opened just a little bit for Chris Sargent. Just a little bit. And a 10 box, 147. Chris Sargent needs 38 pins to tie. He needs a couple of marks. .38 pins for Chris Sargent, or Bob Whitcomb will win this ladder series. Sargent, first ball, missed the head pin. Needs to convert the 4 horsemen on the left side. What a shot by Chris Sargent to stay alive. He needs a big count and another spare. To the head pin. He needs to convert here. I think it's over now. 7 in the spare. Can't do it. It is all over. Bob Whitcomb has won, and Whitcomb will advance to the Tournament of Champions as Chris Sargent finishes with a 110 and a 3-string total of 368 to Bob Whitcomb's 380. A 12-pin win for Bob Whitcomb over Chris Sargent. Whitcomb advances to the Tournament of Champions. We come back to talk to our bowlers right after this from WNDS TV's Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua. Final score of 380 to 368. Bob Whitcomb defeats Chris Sargent. Runner-up Chris Sargent is standing alongside. We'll make the presentation of the check, $1,000 for runner-up, and $100 in bonus money as well. You took a 25-pin lead into the 3rd string, and you watched Bob Whitcomb explode at the start of the string. What's going through your mind at that point?
Well, I just hope he slows down a little, but he just kept going. He threw a great ball. There's nothing I could do. And he bowled great all the whole way up.
What's changed about being on television over the years? Is it easier because you're more accustomed to it, or is it still give you some butterflies when you're coming on at the start of a match?
Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking at first, but then it gets a little easier.
You've done pretty well, though, at Leda Lanes over the years. You won the Easter Sunday tournament 2 years in a row. A little tougher day today, but this house has to be up on the list of your favorites in terms of making money.
On Easter, not on TV, it's not. I'll tell you that much.
Well, maybe we'll have to do a taping sometime on Easter, see if that helps.
Yeah, maybe outside or something.
Chris, thanks very much. Congratulations to you. Hope to see you again. Chris Sargent, our runner-up here this afternoon. And now Bob Whitcomb will step up to lane 33 and will try to match him up with a winner at home in the bonus ball contest. Don't forget, you can send in your postcard with your name, address, and pick a number from 0 to 10. And we'll draw a postcard out of the bin, and this is a 5 for Bob Whitcomb. And Bob will step over here. Mike Moran will reach into the bin, and we'll check the card and make sure that it's a good one. And this is Walter Markowitz Jr. from Nashua. He picked 8. It's not a winner. It's a consolation prize from N&R Trophies of Winchendon, Massachusetts. And the run of money continues for Bob Whitcomb. with the $1,500 first prize and the bonus money over the course of the 4 matches that you participated in, a grand total of $2,675
Nice.
for Bob Whitcomb. There's the winner's check. We'll get the rest of you trailing by 25 going into the 3rd. What's going through your mind?
My attitude was just keep throwing and just see what happens and just never give up and just keep fighting because you got 10 more boxes to bowl. So I just wanted to keep fighting for the last 10 boxes, give everything I had.
I think that's a record for a non-tournament of champions payday in terms of the 4 weeks worth of bowling, $2,600. Also, to let you know, in the 5 years that Dick and I have done the show, you're only the 3rd bowler to come from the number 5 position all the way to win it all.
That's terrific. You know, it's a hard thing to do, I'll tell you that. But, you know, once you get on a little roll and, you know, you build a little confidence, it makes it a lot easier, you know.
Yeah. When did you finally say to yourself, you know what, I think I got this thing in the bag?
After Chris, the last ball he threw, because I never count Chris out because he can throw big scores at any time. And Chris is a great bowler, and I respect him a lot. He's a great bowler.
When you lose it during the course of a match, what do you do to try to get it back? When you lose the mark, when you lose your range, what are you doing to try and get yourself straightened
You
out?
have to go back to basics. It's just the first ball, just try to hit the head pin. That's the key, because if you don't hit the head pin of your first ball, you know, you'd be looking at 6, 7, 8 pins up there a lot of times. You just got to hit the head pin of your first ball and, you know, concentrate, and that's it, you know, and just throw it right in there and take your chances.
Well, you came back great in the 3rd string. Congratulations
Great.
to you,
Thank you very
Bob.
much, guys.
Appreciate it.
Hey, we'll
Good
see you
luck
in
to you.
April.
We'll see you in the
Yeah.
Tournament of
All right.
Champions.
Take
Bob
care.
Whitcomb, our winner here this afternoon, $2,600 and change for his run from number 5 all the way up to the ladder championship and a berth in the Tournament of
You know,
Champions.
it's amazing talking about running from number 5 to number 1 in the 5 years we've done the show. Nobody's ever done it from number 4 spot.
I wonder why. What's magical about
well,
number
basically
4?
4 and 5 is the same thing when you think about it, but who knows what it is. But we do have our first seed in the Tournament of Champions, and that's Bob Whitcomb at 380, probably somewhere in the middle.